Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and today I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to be reviewing Jessica Jones on Netflix. As the title implies, the show focuses on Jessica Jones, she's basically one of the gifted people, is the phrase they use in the show, from the Marvel Universe. She's got super strength, she can jump super far, and she's pretty dang tough. She's not invincible, but she's really, really tough. Now, she's a fairly unique character in that she's a very broken person. She's definitely suffering from PTSD, and she's clearly gone through some really rough times. I think overall the show did a really good job of portraying her as that broken individual and how she's just trying to live a much more normal life. She's not trying to be out there and open with her powers. She's a private detective who often works for Jerry Hogarth, who's a big-time lawyer, who I'm pretty sure will come in to play in a much bigger role as these series go on. But throughout the show, she gets help from Jerry, her best friend Trisha Walker, who she grew up with, as well as the not quite a hero yet, Luke Cage. Throughout the show, she begrudgingly helps a bunch of people, and she works on cases a little bit. But the main focus is a villain has come back to New York, specifically the man who turned her into the broken PTSD individual that she is. Some of my thoughts on the story, I really enjoyed it. It was very dark, but in a more emotional sense. But in an overall tone sense, I didn't find it as dark as, say, Daredevil was. And I'll also say that the pace kind of takes a bit of a dive near the end. I mean, it's not horrible, it doesn't make the show a chore to watch, but it did take a bit of a dive, but it does pick up very quickly. I've got to give respect to the show because it touched on some really adult topics, stuff that hasn't been addressed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think Jessica Jones is a really good place to touch on that, considering all the really awful stuff that happened to her. I'm not going to go into details, but if you watch the show, you'll find out exactly what I mean. And if you want to know more about the comic book origins of Jessica Jones, I'm going to put some links in the description below. They'll take you to a couple of videos where I learned more about the history of Jessica Jones. As for the acting and the actors themselves, I think they all did a really good job portraying the characters. I'm not going to sit here and say that I loved all the characters, but the actors did a great job. Obviously, you've got Krysten Ritter at the head as Jessica Jones. She did a really good job of portraying this angry, hateful, broken character, but making her still likable. And I've got to think that's pretty tough. Mike Colter as Luke Cage was awesome. I've admittedly never seen any of the stuff he's been in before now, but I'm definitely excited to see what he's going to be doing in the future. And I'm really looking forward to the Luke Cage Netflix series. There was Rachael Taylor as Trisha Walker, and she did a great job, but I'm going to quit listing off all the actors and their characters because that would take up the next half hour. But it was nice to see Carrie-Anne Moss in something again. I know she's been in more since The Matrix, but that's really the only thing that comes to mind with her in it until Jessica Jones. I'd also like to address my thoughts on a few of the characters. You had Colby Minifie as Robin, who she annoyed the hell out of me at first. I really didn't like her character, but it's a testament to the quality of writing that she grew as a character, and I started to like her. Then there's Simpson, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but when his switch is flipped, it's too abrupt. It's not quite an unbelievable switch. You can rationalize why it happens in this guy's mind, but it was still just disturbingly abrupt. And then I'm not going to say much about the villain, but his overall personality really annoyed the crap out of me. He was just so childish and bratty. And in case you're curious, yes, he was a gifted individual. His ability was basically the power of mind control, but not exactly mind control. Basically, he can make people want to do whatever he tells them to, but in the back of their mind, they know they don't want to do that. Like, he could tell somebody to kill themselves, and they'll feel like they want to do it, and they'll try to kill themselves, but in their mind, they'll know that they don't want to. They just have to. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I will admit, I liked Daredevil a bit more, but I really enjoyed Jessica Jones, and I'm really excited to see how they tie it into the rest of the Marvel Universe and with the other series that they're coming out with. Well, since this is the first time I've ever done a TV show, and it's on Netflix, I can't really say whether to rent it or buy it, but I can say if you've watched a Marvel movie in the past, decade, that's part of the MCU anyways, this is definitely worth watching. 100% go for it. Watch it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, subscribe. Have a good one.